Hey YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on Alberta for a second here. It's kind of important. I've been bringing up Alberta quite a bit lately because it's a really tough province, a really tough nut to crack, especially with oil, with the whole oil scene going bust and the big fires up in Fort McMurray. And in this town, we took in a few people here in Merritt from Fort McMurray, and I know we've taken other cities here in Kamloops and Kelowna has taken in several families that were plagued by this fire crisis in Alberta. Fort McMurray suffered a really bad, just for the people that lost their lives. May they rest in peace, and prayers go to the families and stuff. But Alberta's been hit hard, and now I've been looking at this article here and kind of muttering whether or I should read this, but it's kind of important because it's happening across the Commonwealth. And what's happening? I'll get to the sentence. Let's read the article and then I get to the sentence, the key part of the sentence, which is very crucial to anyone living in the Commonwealth. They are facing this problem, and I know Australia is too. Very bad. And I know in New Zealand also. This is from the Red Deer Advocate. Now, pay attention, guys. Alberta's inflation rates hold steady. So this is coming obviously from some government's write-up, right? So here it is. Albertans' inflation rate held steady at 1.3% in September compared to 1.9% nationally, a report by ATB Financial Economists and Research Team states. So this is by the Economies and Research Team. British Columbia posted highest year-over-year change in prices among the provinces in 2.4%. Newfoundland, Labrador, the lowest rate at 0.5%. But prices in Alberta were up 3.9% in September. That's a problem. But hold on. Compared to a year earlier, led by rises in the cost of vegetables by 11.7%. So I had a discussion with somebody from Sydney, Australia, and they were telling me, Mike, you guys are lucky because our vegetables here are a fortune. It's easier to eat out fast food. So if you're in Australia, is it easier to eat fast food, junk fast food, $5 combo meals, or is it cheaper to eat at home healthy? And meat, 6.7%. This is huge. The price of food purchases from stores was up 4.2% compared to 3.3% eating out. So that answers it right there for you. This is huge, guys. And you would think the size of Canada, won't stock up certain things and create indoor facilities, like indoor nurseries to create fruits and vegetables all year round. Why? It's not profitable. But with the price of food going up, now this is my second part of the question, could it maintain profitable now? With a decent nursery greenhouse with windows everywhere and the sun blasting like it does in Alberta all year round pretty much, could it make it profitable with some indoor growing facilities, hire 2,000-3,000 people? Could they make it profitable? It's not about making money, but it's about covering their nut and people get to eat at an affordable price. Shelters cost the province were up 1.8%, with rental accommodation rising 2% and accommodation by 1.7%, and water, fuel, and electricity by 2%. The Consumer Price Index rose 1.4% in Edmonton Census Metropolitan Area, by 1.1% in Calgary Metropolitan Area. When highly volatile gasoline prices are excluded, Alberta's inflation rate in September was 2.3%, closer to the national average of 2.4%. So not only is it the national average, but it's also the food and everything, the food and the cost of everything else if meat and everything is crippling them. Gasoline prices in Alberta were down 21.1% year over year, basis in September compared to an average drop of 10% for the country as a whole. The drop in gas prices pushed down the cost of operating of passenger vehicles by Alberta by 5.5%, while the cost of public transit rose by 1.5%. So if they don't get you on one side, they get you on the other. So I get you on the flip side. So here's the deal. I went to go buy organic milk for my children, organic milk. And it's got a little bit of cream on the top because you have to really shake it good. It's pure milk from the farms here. And it's $12 for one of those glass things. And then you can turn in the glass thing and get back $3. But it's $12 for one of those little things. I think it's a liter. I think it's just a liter of milk. It's $12. Then I went over to the one of the buy low stores here, the big supermarkets, and a gallon of milk is I think it's like $8.90, $8, right? So a bottle of ketchup $7, $6, depending where you go. Mayonnaise, a bottle of mayonnaise is $7, $8, $9. A good can of tuna, right? Non-farmed tuna, like good tuna from the ocean, you're looking at about $7.70 a can. I saw them $7.70 a can. Then I saw the farm tuna for $2 a can. The stuff with mercury and stuff that's like farmed in pools, right? So this is taking a huge toll, and I know this is happening all over the Commonwealth. I know in the UK, I got an email the other day that people are basically having. I talked to one guy that has cereal twice a day, and then has ramen noodles for dinner because he can't afford to buy groceries outside of his destructive living conditions. Right? Yeah. Let's go here. I covered this a few days ago. From binge to bust, a Canadian oil town lines up at the food bank. I covered that on my channel, guys. If you can, get to my channel. It's under It's under housing crisis. No, yeah, Alberta, you're next. By the way, right here, rants and lifestyle. I think it's under here, where Albertans. Yeah, it's in here somewhere, guys. You got to check that out. It's a really good video. I'll leave it at the end if I find it. It's in there. It's in my channel. Yeah, check it out. So here it is, guys. 10 years ago, about 2,000 people came every month for jars of peanut butter and cans of soup. Now his staff help feed 4 times. Before, the climate was mostly folks struggling to pay rent that shot up during the oil boom. Today, it's often men and women who were living high before the bus. Sometimes they pull up in shiny pickups purchasing just a year or two ago. So what's happened is we're seeing a huge homeless epidemic there. I cover that too on this channel. Alberta's homeless epidemic is out of control. It's breaking. You know why this is even hurting me even more? It really hurts me to the soul, and I'll tell you why, guys. It's because none of our politicians are discussing this on the debates. They're saying, oh, let's get a pipeline. Yeah, climate change. Pipeline, climate change. Pipeline. And you don't believe in climate change. Yes, I do believe in climate change. And they're just arguing imaginary stuff. When they're not targeting the opioid crisis, they're not targeting the fentanyl crisis, they're not targeting the amount of illegal drugs that get shipped in from that are being manufactured in China. These drugs that come in from China are manufactured in China and then brought over to Canada. So they're not targeting any of that. They're not targeting then the money that's made off our dead teenagers and adults that die from these drugs. Nobody is addressing the money laundering that gets reinvested back into our real estate and into our casinos. No one's taking care of business here. They're not talking about the homelessness, the rampant homelessness across the country. There's a food bank right now in Nova Scotia that's out of control. They're saying that they're getting more and more people. 1 out of 3 properties in Nova Scotia are empty because they're foreign owned. And Halifax is seeing the same thing. Prince Edward Island is seeing the same thing, where people are headed to food banks. People in town that have been there for years, born and raised, live and do their thing, are having a really tough time. And this destroys me inside because the politicians aren't bringing up anything. If anything, the one guy, the NDP party, he wants to federalize medicine. They federalized car insurance here in BC. We have one car insurance company. It's with the government, and it's a disaster and a nightmare. And they're losing money. Now they're going to federalize prescription drugs, do you know what they're going to do? The government's going to step in with auditors and say, this person doesn't need this, cut him off that. This person's okay with this, cut him off that. And this person is okay, cut him off that. And then when you want to buy it privately off the federalization, if they federalize prescriptions, it's going to cost an arm and a leg. Because the pharmaceutical companies now want to make money off the people that are not buying from the government anymore, because they have to make up the losses they're making through the federalization. Guys, be careful with that, because they got to deleverage their losses onto us. It's crippling. Be careful. Be very careful. Anyways, guys, big hug to all my friends out in Alberta. And if you're in Australia and New Zealand and the UK and America too, please let us know. Price of food. What's going on? Is it? They always blame it on oil. They can't blame it on oil because oil's down. Because when the price of oil went up, they said, well, your price of food's going to go up because the price for transporting it. The price for transporting your food gone up, and the price for processing your food has gone up, so price of food needs to go up. Then the oil goes from $1.10 a barrel to $30 a barrel. Remember this 5-6 years ago? Oh, yeah, but food needs to go up because we need to subsidize the loss of the oil! What a bunch of criminals! Anyways, comment below, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. So please share this video, get it out there. Big hug to everybody, and if you're new to this channel, welcome, and thanks for joining the discussion. Our politicians aren't talking about it, so it hurts the soul to see. Let me know. Comment below. Thanks for watching.